Okay, we are live. Hi everyone. My name is Lesslie. This is Home and Casas team. Here today with
Santa Rios.
Stephanie Rios.
And my name is Julissa Chima. I am in the National Guard and I am a licensed cosmetologist who specializes in hair and makeup. And today we are going to be discussing a few things on taxes and preparing to buy a home.
yeah, perfect. And
Welcome.
welcome, Julissa. Very quickly, I guess disclaimer for all of us that we're not, tax professionals. We don't work and filing taxes or giving you tax advice. We just wanted to put our standpoint in a little bit, or just kind of what we've witnessed and what we've seen buyers get ready to purchase a home and why taxes are really important. So
It's really crucial when it comes to buying a house. It's one of the first things a lender would ask you for. It's a good way to measure your income annually, how much you make, and then depending on how you get paid, whether it's 1099 or W-2, to structure your taxes in a way that would benefit you in the future when you want to buy a home. Stephanie?
Yeah. So I'm going to touch on that point of where you left off about it's a good idea to how you're going to file your taxes. Because, for example, if you're self-employed, right, you want to make sure that you can prove the actual income that you're making. So it's important when you talk to your CPA, your accountant, that you're not like writing off a whole amount of stuff, so that you can actually prove that you're making money and actually like be eligible to get a loan. Something that, go ahead.
I was just going to say that typically they look at the last 2 years and they will look at your net income, and that will be the last 2 years will be added and then divided to see what you may be eligible for.
yeah, correct. So going back to what you guys were saying, if you are self-employed, of course you want to you don't want to pay as much, so you're writing off all of these things, whether it's material, even gas or mileage. If you're writing that off like that, it understand why that makes sense to do it. But when it comes time to qualify it, we've seen this happen a couple times already, where someone is making good, they have a business, they're making good money, but on paper you're not making that money because you're writing off a lot of expenses. So they're going to base it off of the amount, your net, what you've already written off. So if that number isn't, if that number was purposely trying to be, as small as possible, then that's what they're going to work with. So another, when you're a W-2 or employed somewhere, they'll look at your last 2 years of taxes and your pay stubs. That's going to give you, or the lender, an idea how much you make. Of course, that's really important to see how much you're going to qualify for. Then they're also going to look at your credit score. And we're going to ask again for the pay stubs, last 2 years of taxes, and last 2 months of the bank statements. Yes, correct me if I'm wrong, bank statements. That's going to, that's an easier way of them seeing how much you make income, and then what your debt obligations are. But again, like if it's you're self-employed, it's your last 2 years of taxes. So if you're writing out everything, expect for the number that they can work with to be smaller.
Right.
So how you can go about this? Again, we're not like tax preparers or advisors, but if you do tell your accountant that you want, to either prepare to purchase a home, then you would know what all to write off, what all not to,
Right.
and expect for, again, last 2 years of taxes. If you own your own business, whether it's an LLC or you're doing it under your own social, that has to be in existence within like 2 years.
That's right.
So yeah, that's like some of the other documents.
Yeah,
they ask
so
you.
so like if you really are serious about buying a house in the future, no matter what point you are, if you think it's gonna take 1 year from now, another year from now, maybe 10 years from now, it's best to start seeking professional help, such as us, as real estate individuals, accountants, lenders. It's good to start talking to them and kind of see what kind of situation you're in, and take into account what it would take to get you into your house. So
Sorry.
We're gonna have to cut it.
So that way,
he has to like come in right now.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna have to move really quick.
We'll move and then come back.
We're back.
Hello, we're back.
Wait, so is it starting?
starting.
I don't know if we are live.
No,
Oh,
we're
now we're
now
live.
live.
Yeah,
Hey guys, we're back.
Hey. Oh.
Hello.
We're back. I know I didn't mean to do that. Okay. We're back in another setting. Because stuff happened. But yeah, Sam was up and us getting into it.
Yeah, I was basically saying how it's good to, any situation, whatever situation you are, whether you're looking into buying a house, whether it's a month from now, a year from now, it's best to get educated and start seeking the professional help, like with us as real estate individuals, lenders, accountants, so you can take into account like we just talked about, your 1099, your W-2s, and you start taking into account your financial situations and how you can start planning out steps you can take.
If you are employed anywhere, and I guess you are either expecting a tax return, if you wanted to look into using that, right, as a down payment, then that would also be an option.
The refund can be used. That's why you need to talk always with the mortgage broker 1st before you start it, because that refund can be used also to pay off debt. So your DTI, that's the debt to income ratio, gets lower, and you can qualify better. Your interest can get better, because there's always ways to find a down payment, but there's not an easy way to pay off debt. So you have already a refund, and it's a substantial refund. Might be a better idea to do that, but it all depends. So you talk to a mortgage broker, which we have several people that you can talk to, then they can figure out what's the best situation for you.
And then also, preferably before you file, like if that's something you wanted to do within, this season, if you haven't already filed your taxes, you want to speak to a mortgage professional. We have a lot of contacts that, are best suited for your situation. Again, like you were covering, whether it's using the refund for a down or it's to lower your debt to income, that's all something that could be considered if, using the cash towards your purchase. The documents, we had mentioned what they were going to ask for if you're a W-2, but if you're 1099, I was going to say W-1. But no, if you're a 1099, or bank statements also from a year, something you can get within, your bank mobile app, and your personal bank statements, because again, if you have a separate account for your business and you have your own personal expenses, they're going to take into account those as well.
To have 2 years of tax returns, it doesn't matter. If you don't have 2 years of tax return, then you can apply for another type of loan, but that will increase the down payment that you have to put in the property and the requirements that you need to have. Tax returns are important. It has the average of 2 years of tax returns, but that's the gross that is taxed, so it comes out after all the deductions that you come. So you clear during the year $100,000, but then your deductions are $50,000. Your gross income is gonna be $50,000, not $100,000. And then they average the 2 years of tax returns, and that will be your salary for every year, and that's what they're gonna use for income. So you have to talk to a lender before you file your taxes, because they can help you to see how you can increase that and how you can do it. That way you can qualify for the house you're looking for.
Right, which is what we were talking on before we had to switch spaces, of how you want to, if that's something you're planning to do, speak to someone. That way you know how to go about it before you file. Once you file, they're going to work with that number. But yeah, that's something we just wanted to cover on very briefly. Not any advice specific. If you're looking for contacts, we'd be more than happy to send you to do that. So we wanted to come on here very quickly now that it is tax season and see a little bit about what we've seen, whether in our own experiences with our clients and other things that the mortgage professionals are going to ask you for. So very quick live. Thank you everyone for joining, and for whoever's watching this later, whoever's watching this on YouTube, 'cause I'm probably going to upload it. But yeah,
Let us know if you have any questions, comment, and share, please. We would really appreciate that.
Perfect. All right, and have a great day, everyone.
Bye, guys.